Howdy, folks, and welcome to the Hunting Stories podcast, The Hunter's Brief, your weekly shot of hunting and fishing news. I'm your host, Michael, bringing you the latest on public lands, wildlife, conservation, and of course, legislation impacting hunters and anglers. From national headlines to regional updates, we've got stories to keep you in the know. Grab your gear and let's hit the trail. U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service proposes lead ammo flexibility. On May 14th, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service proposed easing lead ammo restrictions on 12 national wildlife refuges. This adjustment aims to balance ecological concerns with practical hunting access, following a 2024 pilot program in 7 states. The proposal encourages voluntary lead-free ammo use while maintaining conservation goals. Public comments are open until June 15th, 2025 via regulations.gov. The change addresses hunter concerns about ammo availability and cost. It also supports the $144 billion economic impact of hunting and fishing. Hunters gain more ammo options, making refuge hunts more accessible without harming wildlife. Lead or no lead, your aim better be true. EPA grants $1.2 million for wetland restoration. On May 16th, the EPA awarded $1.2 million to 5 states for wetland conservation projects. The funds, part of the Wetland Program Development Grants, support habitat restoration critical for waterfowl and fish. Projects include monitoring and enhancing marsh ecosystems in the Midwest and Southeast. However, states must match 25% of these funds. The initiative strengthens biodiversity and water quality, and public input on project priorities is encouraged through state agencies. Wetlands are getting a glow up, and the ducks are quacking with joy. BLM opens 50,000 acres for public hunting in western states. The Bureau of Land Management announced on May 12th that 50,000 acres in Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming will open for public hunting. The decision follows a review of land use plans to enhance recreational access. Targeted species include elk, deer, and upland birds. The move addresses hunter demand for more public land access. Environmental groups have raised concerns about habitat impacts, but BLM assures sustainable management practices. More land to roam? Time to dust off that old elk call. Pittman-Robertson Act funds $200 million for wildlife in 2025. On May 15th, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service allocated $200 million from Pittman-Robertson Act taxes to wildlife state agencies. The funds, from hunting gear and ammo taxes, support habitat restoration and species recovery. Projects include deer and turkey habitat enhancements. The program has distributed over $1 billion annually since 2020. States must submit project plans by July 2025. Your new rifle just helped save the habitat. National Park Service bans bear baiting in Alaska. On May 18th, the National Park Service finalized a ban for bear baiting on Alaska's national preserves. The rule, effective immediately, aligns with federal conservation goals but conflicts with state regulations allowing the practice. The decision follows years of debate between hunters and wildlife advocates. It affects 13 million acres of preserved land. Public comments showed 70% support for the ban. Hunters can still pursue bears without bait, however. No more bear picnics. Time to track the old-fashioned way. Washington governor approves license fee increase. On May 19th, Washington Governor Bob Ferguson signed a bill raising hunting and fishing license fees. This is effective July 2025. The first increase in Washington since 2011, it aims to fund the Department of Fish and Wildlife amid other budget shortfalls. Fees will rise by 10 to 15% depending on the license type. The move supports habitat management and fish stocking. Conservation groups back the change, though some anglers worry about the costs. Your license just got pricier, but so did the fish's rent. Wyoming proposes expanded wolf hunting quotas. The Wyoming Game and Fish Department proposes increasing wolf hunting quotas for 2025. The plan responds to a 15% rise in wolf populations in the Northwest. Quotas would increase by 20 tags in select zones. Public meetings are scheduled through June 2025. The proposal balances livestock protection and sustainable wolf populations. Wolves better start practicing their hide and seek. Montana FWP reports record elk harvest. On May 13th, Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks reported a record elk harvest for the 2024-2025 season, up almost 8% from the previous year. Over 25,000 elk were taken this past year, driven by the expanded access to public lands and more hunters in the field. This data reflects strong herd health in central and west regions, and hunters are urged to actually report their harvest promptly. The agency is continuing to study the impacts of hunting and the elk populations. Montana's elk are saying, we're too popular for our own good. Colorado increases mule deer tags. On May 16th, Colorado Parks and Wildlife approved a 10% increase in mule deer tags for the 2025 season. The decision follows a population rebound in western units. Tags will be available starting June 1st. The agency urges hunters to check unit-specific rules, and data shows a 12% rise in fawn survival rates this year. Mule deer are multiplying faster than our hunting stories. Minnesota DNR proposes bear quota hike. On May 14th, Minnesota's Department of Natural Resources proposed increasing bear hunting quotas by 15% for the 2025 season. The change addresses rising bear populations and agricultural conflicts. Public input is open until June 10th. The proposal expands no quota zones in northern regions. Tribal consultations influenced this decision. Bears better bear down. It's open season. Michigan faces wildlife funding shortfall. On May 12th, Michigan DNR warned of a $4.4 million deficit in its fish and wildlife divisions for 2026. The agency relies heavily on license sales, which haven't kept pace with the costs. Proposed license fee hikes are under review. Conservation programs and fish stocking may face cuts without action. Public meetings are scheduled for June. Why it matters? Well, anglers and hunters may see reduced services or higher fees. Michigan's wildlife budget is tighter than a fishing knot. Florida implements Amendment 2 rules. On May 19th, Florida's Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission began drafting rules to implement Amendment 2, passed in 2024. The amendment protects hunting and fishing as constitutional rights. The 2025 legislative session will finalize these regulations. Conservationists urge balance to prevent overfishing. Public input is open through July. Florida making hunting and fishing as sacred as sunshine. Maine expands Sunday hunting pilot. On May 15th, Maine's Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife expanded a Sunday hunting pilot program to 5 additional counties. The program, started in 2024, allows deer and bear hunting on Sundays in select zones. Data shows no negative wildlife impacts. Public feedback is open until June 30th. The pilot runs through 2026. Sundays just got a little bit wilder in Maine. That's a wrap for this week's Hunter's Brief. Don't miss Monday's storytelling episode where we'll share epic tales from the field and stream. Subscribe on your favorite platform, share the show with your hunting buddies, and keep your lines tight and your aim true. See you guys next week.